Ooh, I don't know about that.
That's for the chips though. I
Mm,
just douse that. It's like the vinegar that's like
yeah.
it looks like balsamic, but it's like malt vinegar. I don't know what the difference is. I have no idea how different
Okay.
it is, but it tastes great. There's some salt and malt vinegar on fish and chips, man. I
That's
almost say fish
solid.
and chips like a southern accent. Fish and chips. I didn't know how to say it. I don't know fish and chips.
Fish and
It sounds
chips.
exactly the same. Same
Yeah.
accent.
They're like
Fish and
bloody
chips.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your mic is open.
Thank
Wow.
you. You hear about our fish and chips at Disney World? Yeah. It's good. Highly recommend it.
We're just fangirling over food.
Okay, so are we going live on YouTube? So the meeting, but yeah, just don't show your camera.
Have you sent the link to everybody already?
Huh?
Does everybody already have the link?
Yes, sir.
It's on our website.
Oh, so they're watching us right now.
Yeah, it's on our, but no one's there right now.
Sublime.
I'm like, let's go dance.
Never safe. There's always a camera on you.
Is that the camera?
No, we should stand in front of the camera and be like, "You're not here." There's pizza and samosas. Bummer.
Okay, so Zoom
Oh,
and
wow.
desktop. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. I hate Slack.
Oh, really?
I can't stand Slack. Everyone
Yeah.
says you really hate Slack because you don't understand it.
I mean, it's I would say it's better than Teams. Oh, thank it.
Oh, I was like, this looks so familiar.
I like
This
opened
is-
it and I was like,
You understand you already know.
I mean,
everything.
I already did a public
Chapter 1,
universities.
prepare your speech.
Yeah, I already did like a public universities.
Public speaking thing.
No, I did like a, what was it? University programs, interns turn full-time
Mm.
employees. And that was like broadcasted,
Mm.
so I feel like that helped qualify me.
I would agree. I think we have the same size laptop.
Yeah,
I think I'm just a baby about the size of it.
well, I mean, if you have a case on it though, too, so it seems bigger with a case.
I'm just a baby.
I was like, I have the same on my personal, it seems heavier.
Well, this is my personal one. Personal laptop is this little baby guy.
Oh, do you get an Air?
Huh?
You have an Air?
Yeah, it's like the M2 chip. Worst laptop I've ever had.
Wait, really?
It is the slowest laptop.
Oh,
That was probably half my work laptop.
oh,
It's
okay.
terrible. And I literally, I cleared everything off. Like I literally,
Yeah.
I literally reset it and I cleared,
Yeah.
cleared the cache and everything. And it was the slowest laptop I've ever had. I'd rather go back to my
sad.
2017, like Dell
Yeah.
Inspiron, like
Facts.
it was so bad. It was super
Yeah,
duper bad.
no, I mean, I thought for sure the M2 would have been better because I mean, so I also have a personal MacBook, but it's a Pro, so it's kind of very similar to the work one, but just a couple of RAM or whatever
Mhm.
less. But I love it. It's snappy and it's M1. So
Them ones are better. Granted, I think the 256 gig is probably part of the reason that it's so slow. Maybe you should help
I have
me
a
as
1
the HR
terabyte.
guy. Do you?
Yeah.
That's the way I gotta go next time. It was like $1,000. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay.
I was like, this is super cheap.
Yeah,
This is fine.
definitely.
In
No.
comparison.
No, mine was 3x.
Yeah.
cost, so
Yeah.
I was like, it was an investment.
It's the
so,
best, but I'll have this until
yeah.
2028. Genuinely, you could. Genuinely, like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
No, because I mean, the one I had before this was 2016,
Right.
I think, or at least no, 2017. Because then when I joined PayPal, they gave me like a 2018. And so my personal was like about the same. And then it was good until last year. So it was like a good for another 4 or 5 years.
That's crazy. Yeah, my wife has a 2017 Air.
Mm.
No, Pro.
Pro.
2017 Pro. She still loves that. That's not going down anytime soon.
Yeah, it's solid.
Okay, you want to go over our slides really fast?
Yes.
And just like know who's gonna do what?
Yeah, let me just
Yeah, we're good, right? Yeah. Present. This is listening. Like that. Right? Yeah. Now you're happy. Yay. So we have to Southern Indian
अभी बोलोगे तो इवेंट करना लेट हो जाएगा 15-20 मिनट लग जाएगा नहीं तो जो नए लोग आएंगे वो भी इधर पे करवाना है
Like I just wanted to just like just have you done a research till now like you
Yeah, especially.
yeah so yeah regarding that I mean I contacted them so like one of them got back to me. Yeah like I like took their advice and I drafted it so I just wanted to thank you for it. Apart from that like I just wanted an outside perspective.
Will do. No, you didn't listen. Very nice. State. It's fine. Locations asked.
You do one of the what is that?
Yeah, we did that. Are we allowed to put it outside of the like that? How you put that? That's. It's good. That's still good.
Easy for everybody.
Yeah. We did get a lot
Yeah,
of
same one.
Yeah.
Just different versions I can.
Which one's in? No, I have 6. We have that.
I was using like mine for like 4 years. That's the reason for it.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's like.
Then I got this. And same shoes. With different version.
Oh, yours? Yeah. There's like this one.
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm not really sure. LFS or something.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure about the name, but it's just that this doesn't get too much praise, or like they do get, but you don't observe them.
Sure, that's right now. I think video. Take the.
Do you have that?
Yeah.
Feels special. Hate. There's no hate when you live abroad. Right? Oh, you don't live up- There's hate.
I mean, yeah, home. Yeah, bring it back at home. Right. But we can put Trying to find out how to sell it. Because like, there's like, one fat timing. What happened? Yeah. Just describing it. Like, Friday, oh my goodness. Just right now. Should I one person? Black. You guys. Feeling like when we want to go to trip, that one of the roast. Waiting on you for us to slow down. And now. Yeah. Yeah. I will leave different poses. I like them. And I was like, so we don't Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So hi, thanks all for coming. Today we have a different type of event from what we usually do. We usually do workshops and technical frameworks and everything. But today we decided to do a industry testing event. We have folks from PayPal here, Courtney and Porter. Courtney is a software engineer at PayPal. Courtney is a fine division. Porter is recruit, right? So they'll be giving us brief tech talk and then a general practices of recruiting, resume do's and don'ts, and hopefully you guys will like it and improve your resumes for this job hunting season. And yeah, that is all.
So yeah, today everyone, my name is 39. I'm excited to share with you all more about me. So, so here we got a QR code, so you can stay in touch with us, your name and email. And to make sure that you're in our database. So just wanted to call that out. So as you see the picture on the agenda today, I'll be sharing a tech talk around buy now, pay later. Resume interview, and of course, and we'll open it up for any Q&A after that. And then post event, we got the resume review. So if any of you brought your resumes, we can take a look at them as well. I think that's pretty much it.
That's
So,
us. Next slide.
Yeah, next
Cool.
slide. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know how to do. It's not actually on here. Is it just, is there two screens? Is that what we're
Yeah,
doing?
there are two
Okay.
screens.
It's just.
Sorry.
Cool.
Continuing on. See what comes up. Yeah, so a little bit about me. I've got a computer science degree and advanced minor here at ASU. So alumni 2019, so it's awesome to be back. And then I have a full circle moment. So excited to again be here with you all. Also mentioned that I was an intern at PayPal in summer of 2018. I worked on a React Node application and was technically on a backend software engineering team for PayPal Credit, and then joined full-time in 2019. So currently taking a look, I've been able to work on the Venmo credit card, more so the backend for credit financing and eligibility services. And then also launching the 3-2 co-brand card. So those services also powered this co-brand card, along with getting to work on pay letter messaging, which I'll share more about in the tech talk. And the cool thing to call out here is that the employee resource groups that I'll be sharing more about, I'm part of the Belief ERG, which is around faith, as well as the Rise Pan-Asian ERG and Unity. And so aside from work, I do enjoy dance a lot, pretty much been dancing since I was 4. And so with that, I performed a couple of my own choreography at Tempe Center for the Arts. Yeah, just by there, Miss Lotto. Also currently do
Oh, she might
hip-hop
need to stand in
dance
front of the computer.
tutorials on TikTok for fun. And
She
then
probably needs to stand
currently learning mobile apps.
Oh.
Just as a curiosity, because currently I work on React, Node, TypeScript, GraphQL, and Java for another project. So mainly for fun, I was like, why not pick up mobile app as well? But yeah, that is a bit about me, and feel free to connect on LinkedIn as well as that QR code. So with that, I'll hand it to Porter for his introduction.
Hello, everybody. So I realize now that I'm officially in a corporate company, and I can't be as fun in a lot of ways as I typically do when I do public speaking. But in a lot of ways, just to, if I can't say what's going on. Oh, sorry. I thought I was something. In a lot of ways, instead of being able to be that fun guy, I'll just tell you, I am a Toby Flenderson position with a Mike Scott personality. So if you will, if anyone watches The Office. So I try to be that fun guy during a screening call or an interview. And at the end of the day, I have to push policy, which is super sublime for me. I absolutely love living within policy. But keeps it safe. If anyone knows PayPal, they know it as a trusted company. They know it as like it's something that's the trust of its customers in the brand is everything. So at the end of the day, that's most important to me. For me, as you can see, I got my bachelor's in agricultural business. I'm an HR at PayPal. I am a testament to the fact that your bachelor's degree does not determine your destiny. And at the end of the day, I love what I do. It took me a little bit to find exactly where I want to be. I'll say right now, if you're trying to be a software developer today, and 10 years from now, you want to be in product management, or you want to go work in marketing or sales, you can do that. Absolutely. I testament to that. It's not super duper easy, but you can make the pivots. You're not stuck in a rut. You can adjust. So follow your dreams today. And if your dreams change, follow them in the future when they do. Okay. Background in university and political recruiting. I won't go into the politics side of things, but you're welcome to talk to me about the university side. Let's see. Public speaking and presenting is something I enjoy. Do it in church all the time. It's something that me and my family just for some reason make each other do and as like a prank. So relatively comfortable with it. For right now, I'm a tech sourcer at PayPal, tech recruiter at PayPal, emphasis on product, consumer teams. I usually hire in the US and Latin America. That's the focus right now, although that is subject to change whenever my manager says so. So I think it can be anywhere, anytime. That's fun. Aside from work, I like to travel with my wife, trying to get to all 50 states. Big Pokemon Go guys. So if anyone's looking for a red Charizard, I'm not a red Gyarados. I have one for sale. And as well, I like to do anything on a board. So whether that's one wheel, snowboarding, or wakeboarding. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I think that's all my stuff. What's the next slide?
All right, so the next slide, I'll be sharing more about buy now, pay later. So thank you. What I'm gonna do is just make sure that this comes up. And instead of this slide or this one, this is what I'd like to share more about. So buy now, pay later. What we offer is there are currently 7 countries where we offer this product. So including like US, Spain, Australia, for example. And how a merchant can offer buy now, pay later is actually going to this developer docs that we have. So either they themselves or they might hire a developer. And what and so what will happen next is that we've got a PayPal JavaScript SDK, which includes you'll hear more about messaging and buttons. So what I wanted to share more is that initially, if you take a look at this first chunk, so lines 1 and 2, that's the script that you'll include. The next part goes into seeing that PayPal button container. And I'll show more what that looks like in a little bit. And so just kind of take a look at that code, soak it in as I start to scroll down. If you could try to scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, you bet.
Please. Cool. So if you could scroll down all the way to see this banner.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right here. So if you take, if you take a look at, that's good. Yeah, if you take a look at this top line where it says PayPal in for interest-free payments of $25, what that's showing is it's advertising our for pay in for product. And again, it's one of the components that are available in the SDK for a developer to put on to the merchant site. So for example, if you go to Target and want to buy a blender, you can see that banner at the top as a payment option. So that's what I would say messaging is. And then if you look lower, you see PayPal, pay later, or their credit card. These are what we call the buttons. And that's where you can use your PayPal account to pay with. Or if you take a look at that second option, pay later, you can use either pay in 4 or say pay in 3, depending on the country. So I think the cool thing there is that from a developer perspective, right, you start at this script, and that's what our web engineers work with. So that will involve, like, say, JavaScript, or maybe a layer lower down, we have like GraphQL to parse that data and then send it to any of our downstream services. Because, for example, like say if you're in the US and you want to buy something, but this merchant offers pay later in another country, that's not going to be available. And so you're going to have checks like that. That happens at the downstream service layer. So that kind of gives you, I would say, a little overview of the architecture. And really that's what where I work with is the top layer with JavaScript and then the second layer with GraphQL. Yeah, I think, let me see if there's anything else. So yeah, one thing to notice is if you take a look at how this banner is configured. I've done a project with my team where we've done what's called a messaging configurator. So a merchant can go to our configurator and choose what type of logo they want, whether they want to show just buy now, pay later as the message, or pay with paying for interest-free payments or paying free interest-free payments. And that's something that I've had the opportunity to lead and will hopefully be rolled out to more merchants or partners that work with our merchants to get that on. But yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to share in terms of this lightning tech talk. So if we could go back to the slides, we'll cover the next section. Oh, hold on. That's all good. Cool. All right.
Totally different from me. It's great.
All right, university programs.
I'm gonna speak this. Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna test standing right in front of this to see if this audio works for the live stream. Yeah, is this where you'd like us to stand? Okay, sublime. Great, awesome. So yeah, university programs. Just to clarify, I am not a university recruiter. So can I answer a lot of the general questions about recruiting? Absolutely. Do I know all the ins and outs of the university program? No, but I know a lot of people that do. So if you have any questions that I can answer, more than happy to get your contact information, shoot me an email and I will make sure we get you some answers. Okay, awesome. So moving forward, global university programs. We have tons of different places that you can be part of the university programs that we have, internships, if you will. There's a lot of different locations within the United States, obviously, but if you haven't noticed, PayPal is a worldwide company. It's pretty fun. That being said, we do have university programs specific to the different locations that you're in. I am not personally aware of anybody that is from Austin, Texas, and getting an internship in Spain, although that would be super duper cool. You could live Hillary Duff's life and go be the real version of herself. I don't know if anyone, wow, I'm probably pretty old actually. I'm just realizing that's totally not a relevant reference for the pop culture here. But if you don't understand that, hopefully you're rolling inside your head right now. But yeah, obviously PayPal, lots of different opportunities, lots of different places. Moving on, we have a few different prerogatives as we go through the process. So obviously we try and educate you at the same time. You're there for an internship at the end of the day, and you want to get a greater tech stack. You want to get a greater perspective of what a corporate structure looks like. You want to understand what the day-to-day of whatever position you're going for is going to look like. Other than that, there's no reason to go to an internship, right? You're there to gain experience. You're there to gain, obviously, the resume line is super cool, but I'll read through that really quick as a recruiter. I'm more interested in how you approach things than what you know. Does that make sense? Much more interested in that. Your demeanor, the way you answer questions, you might be able to pass interview number 1, but there's typically 4, at least in a corporate process. You're going to have to make it through all of them. So while you're at the internship, don't just have a great time. Do more than just that. Learn as much as you can. So educate. We have an onboarding process. There's trainings. We'll have all sorts of boot camps you can go through, leadership development, so on. There's going to be a pre-onboarding connect. So basically, you'll be able to make relationships. I am part of the group in the business school, if you will, and the agricultural business, because we counted cows for my degree. And I'm part of the group that thinks your network is your net worth. And honestly, within tech, it's super cool to say, I had an internship with so-and-so, that's now a big wig over at Amazon, and I'm a very, very important person at PayPal. And we also are really good friends with this guy over at Intel, and we all have great relationships. And whenever we're all in Vegas for the weekend, we get together and we eat dinner. And it's one of the coolest, most rewarding parts of your journey in your career. So I highly recommend getting to know the people around you. Let's see, networking, obviously, community impact, global huddle sessions. You'll be able to have different meetings with the different interns from all across the world. Let's see, mentor and a buddy. I'll let you speak to that in just a minute. That's more to the mentorship and the buddy system. And then on the job learning, big substance parts of your internship process. So yeah, you want to talk to this?
For sure. And then if you can start loading that, I'll share more about the mentor and buddy program. So the cool thing is that like during my internship, I was paired
You
with
want me to load?
a mentor. Yeah.
What do you want me to load?
Just go ahead and keep loading it. I think there's a lot of.
Oh, is there
stuff
more?
on the
Okay.
left hand side. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I thank you. So yeah, mainly with the mentor buddyship program, I was able to get paired with a mentor who was on my team, and in a way get paired with another buddy who was also on my team. And I think it was a great way because I still talk with my mentor today, despite being on another team. So I feel like that's where with PayPal, it's truly a people network where you're able to reach out to other teams, and most likely you've worked with them in some form in the past or on a current project. And so I feel like that's a great way to also expand your skill set, but then also learn what other teams are working on too. So we have that program. And then during the internship, we also have a what's called recent grad buddy program. So any intern will get paired with one of our recent grads. And the recent grads are those who have just graduated college, joined PayPal, and are currently in their first or second year at PayPal. So they'll get that pairing as well. So that's more about the mentorship programs that we have going on. And then here for the internships, this one talks more about a software engineering internship. I would say the cool thing is that like when I first interviewed, I had interviewed in Java, but then once I joined my team and got assigned a project, I actually coded in React and Node. So that was something where, say like during the first week, you're spending some time onboarding, meeting the other interns as well in your cohort. You also get to learn more about the project that you're working on or potential projects, depending on the size of the work. And maybe you might also be ramping up too, for example, because I didn't know React and Node when I started. So that's something during the first 2 weeks, I was like, okay, let me go through some couple of courses, understand what's currently at PayPal in terms of existing applications that I could reference. But then also talking to a couple of mentors as well from either other teams or my team that was knowledgeable in React and Node too. So I'll mention that for the programming skills, as well as especially collaborating with other teams. Because particularly in my case, I was on a backend team doing a front end project. So for that, I was like, okay, who can I reach out to get some help if needed, ask more questions, and of course, I'll learn what other teams are working on too. So going over the requirements, just wanted to highlight those things that you might see in the job description, and we'll also be working with as a tech stack, where on the front end, you have like JavaScript, CSS, React framework, and then in that middle layer, you'll have any REST APIs, which are currently using Java, and the Spring Boot framework. And say for like Python, you might tend to see that in any of our data science internships for analytics per se. And I think that pretty much covers, other things to mention. That's like the, say 0 to 2 weeks, between 2 to 10 weeks, you'll be working on your projects, connecting with other interns. We also have like lunch and learns and networking, other networking opportunities. And then that 11th and 12th week, you'll spend time offboarding as well as presentations. So sharing with your team what you learned, also sharing with the broader org what you did as well, and any other I would say opportunities that come up that either like all the interns are presenting and things like that. So that's where you'll get that full experience of being able to, I'd say, make sense of what happened during those 12 weeks as well. But yeah, so that's a bit about our internship program.
ERGs.
Cool. So next is ERGs. If you can go ahead and go to the next slide. These are the current employee resource groups that we have at PayPal. I think the cool thing is that, like, despite working in your team, you'll have these opportunities to connect with other engineers or product managers or just other folks within PayPal. And so I think the cool thing is, for example, the RISE Pan Asian Employee Resource Group. During Lunar New Year, we were able to organize an event at the office where we had a dragon come in. We also had some good food from Flows locally, and just had a good time playing some games, doing a run with spoons and eggs. So just fun things like that, where you also get some fun swag and shirts and get to connect with folks as well. So that's the kind of fun events we have. Also, wanted to mention, say, for Unity, we have a partner, again, another mentorship program, so you can get paired with other, say, women in leadership or allies as well, and be able to have one-on-ones with them to learn more about their line of business, what you think they might be able to help you on, and establish another connection there. So I think that's where it's been awesome to be able to connect with other people and have these such like large and global groups to do so. Yep.
Cool.
All right, so I'll hand it to,
Oh, this is
Or-
this link. Do you want to
Yeah.
go over this really
yeah,
fast?
yeah, we,
Oh, sorry.
too quick.
Oh
Too quick. That's okay. So if we go back to, say, this one, and let me try to move my mouse up there. Cool. All right, so taking a look at this, the career opportunities. This is our university hiring page. And so if I try to call it out, it's university-hiring/university-overview. But anyways, if you could start.
I think it's
scrolling.
actually that's the QR code, I believe.
That's the QR code.
That is the
Okay.
QR code, yeah.
Thank you. So if
the
you've
beginning.
seen, yeah, so if you scanned that QR code earlier, you will see this. And then Porter, if you
Yeah,
don't mind
you bet.
scrolling down, just wanted to talk through some of the things right here. So here we have also a video. I think due to time, we will probably keep going on.
Sure.
We wanted to talk about, we have the internships, but then if you scroll down, we also have our recent grad program that is more. And so that's includes, again, network opportunities. There might be a summit as well to connect with other recent grads across the nation, where you'll do, like, say, a hackathon. Also get to see the headquarters in San Jose, and get to meet any, I would say, of your team members too, depending on where they are located. But yeah, similarly, we also have like lunch and learns and opportunities to speak with, say, HR, the head of HR, or the CFO too. So there's cool opportunities like that. Yeah, so you can scroll down even more. What would be of interest for you all is this virtual events calendar. Here you can, there are different talks. So for example, I gave one with a group of interns turned full-time employees, and we shared about our recent, we shared about experiences transitioning from college to full-time. So there'll be talks like that, or also around belief, or even I would say leadership as well. So just wanted to highlight there, and that's where if you look at that blue line link where it says register to our community to get an invitation, then you'll be all set up there. So just wanted to call that out, and then if you can maybe scroll down.
Yeah.
The different jobs that are available. So what would be of interest, I believe, for this group is that we have data science. Again, that involves like Python, taking a look at different analytics and charts, setting up dashboards. Those might be some things. If we continue scrolling down, I wanted to highlight, let's say we've also got information security. So for any of you in, say, the cybersecurity program, or I'm blanking on the word, but when you have those different ones like software engineering and cybersecurity, that one would be of interest for you. And if you could scroll down more, yeah, we've got machine learning as well, which has been more popular, and especially down here, we have software engineering, and it's interesting because the software engineering can encompass both front end, back end, and also mobile app as well. So keep an eye on that when you're looking at the descriptions to see what will fit your experience or also what you're interested in. But yeah, so that's it. That's in terms of job opportunities. If we can try and go back.
You just work your Mac totally different.
What?
I don't work my Mac the same way. I just like literally flick between.
Okay.
All right, cool. Sweet.
All right. I think you're next. And then
Yes,
Move it over.
if it will. Really? Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, let's let you into my mind for a minute. Which is a crazy place, let me tell you guys. But let's just get into the mind of a recruiter a little bit. I want to see if I can fill in some of the blanks and help you come to realizations about the recruiting process, certain things that are beige flags to red flags, whatever. I want to make sure that you understand what's going on in my head when I see things like resumes and when I'm conducting an interview, everything on the back end, right? So let's just hop into a job description. So we're going to talk about job descriptions for just a second, but raise your hand if you think job descriptions are a very good reference about the job typically. Okay, it's about 50-50, which is actually very accurate to stats, right? So statistics say that worst class I ever took, they basically say that 50% of job descriptions are really poorly written. That does not help my cause, but I'm just giving that out to you guys so you understand what to expect. Sometimes they're going to be very reliable for the job. For a company like PayPal, for your other large corporations out there, they're going to take the time to make sure that those are accurate because for some reason they just care a little bit more or whatever reason it might be. But those types of job descriptions are very, very good and very reliable sources for you to bank the rest of that interview process on. That makes sense? Awesome. Some job descriptions are going to be and I'm not going to knock any small companies at all, but a lot of the time it's going to be companies that don't put the time and effort into making a job description good. They're going to type in a few different things into ChatGPT, and then it's going to spit something back out, and they will copy and paste, and that'll be the job description, right? whatever OpenAI knows is what the job description will say, and sadly, that is the reality of a lot of these, especially present day. But for companies that you can rely on it, this is what I want you to know. At minimum, skim the job description before you apply. Why would I say that? I'm actually going to open it up to answers for this to the group. Why would I ask you to at least skim right here?
You want to tailor your resume?
You want to tailor your resume. That is the first reason. Absolutely. That's actually part of one of my points I wanted to cover. You want to tailor your resume to the job description. Why is that? Well, we use AI tools to filter out resumes, and I'll get more into that in just a minute. But if your keywords on your resume do not match the job description, you will not get graded as much as somebody else that literally goes into the job description and it says this tech stack is for a front-end developer and you don't have any JavaScript at all on your resume for some reason, right? Not that you should lie, not that you should manipulate your resume, but you want to cater it, right? If you're going to have a certain meal, right, you want to make sure that it's presented the way that it needs to be. So same thing with the resume. Great point. Number two, you want to make sure you skim the job description so you know what the tech stack and the requirements actually are. The most embarrassing thing is when people get on an interview with me and they're like, okay, cool. So what's this for? I'm like, yeah, this is for a backend developer. They're like, cool. So I know SQL, and a couple other things, but I've never touched Java or Python or C++. I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you applied. Thanks for hanging out. I will definitely keep your resume in our system for when we have more relevant positions for you. But at the same time, it's like, I need you to have certain skills. What percentage of people do you think don't read a job description? Just yell it out and we can just have it be pandemonium in here. 90%. I don't know who knows that, but yeah, 90% of people do not read the job description before they apply, which is super frustrating for people like me because I have to go through all these resumes. And I don't want to make sure that I include every single person I possibly can to go to the next round. And from that next round to the next round, I want to include as many people as I possibly can. They're going to pass the criteria I'm looking for. So read, at least skim. After you get an interview, you are confirmed to get an interview. You have to read the job description. You know, if at minimum, the most embarrassing thing for a recruiter is if the job description is better known by the interviewee than the interviewer. It's super embarrassing if you, as the recruiter, don't understand the job description as well as the person that you're interviewing. What that tells me, you know your stuff. You care. You give a crap. At the end of the day, the only thing recruiters care about is if you give a crap enough. Now, your tech stack and everything else will follow that, right? Everything that you do to prepare for that interview, the classes that you took, the grades that you got, the internships that you applied for and you went about, the extra things that you did at your last job that give you an awesome reference from your manager, those all show me that you give a crap. There's one thing you gather from me specifically from this presentation, it's that you just need to start showing that you care. And then eventually it will be very easy for recruiters to see. Lastly, it's an open book test. Like when you go to the interview section, like the first interview, the technical interview is typically like right after the phone screening, right? So you're gonna get in there, you're gonna say, cool, you want to promote, you want to work hybrid, and you're gonna say, oh, no, I don't really care. They're like, cool, great, awesome. Where do you want to work? I'm up for relocation. All right, great. What are your compensation expectations? That's the first interview. Should be easy. 15 minutes. I do that. Do like 30 of those a week. It's really, really fun, but I think it's a little. But this is the second interview typically. It is the technical interview. This is the stuff I'm going to confirm that you know in the technical interview, right? In the third interview, it's behavioral. Probably 25% technical. Well, I'm going to make sure that you can apply these skills in the conversation when you're talking to your manager. But I'm making sure that 75% of that interview is about critical thinking. How can you apply the knowledge that you have of your tech stack, of tools, whatever? How can you apply that into a conversation and work as a team to be creative? That's what that third interview is typically about. The fourth interview is about company fit, team fit. That's what you'll cross that bridge when you get there. That's typically with someone like a business partner or a director level person. Whatever. You'll pass that interview if you're the right fit for the company. And there's very little you can do for that. Usually, if you get to that last interview, you have at least 50% chance of getting a job. That's my experience. Any questions with this? I'll answer one. Or none. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Last thing, confirm your tech stack matches the job description. Why is that important? For the same thing that we talked about before. If your tech stack doesn't match, you're going to get thrown out really fast. Resume tips, the inside scoop. These are the 3 deathly hollows of resume review. I tried to do like infinity stones. I thought that was going to be like a good number for this. We have to collect all of them. So I do let all or whatever or win. But there's too many, and there's going to be 3 things for this. So it just it didn't work. So I was like, I literally went to ChatGPT and said, what are pop culture and just 3 important things to have together. And so then here we are. You have to pass the resume filter system, right? Your resume has to be so good that you don't just get filtered out automatically. A lot of this is AI tool. Really useful for recruiters, but at the same time, I have to be cautious about bias in those tools. I have to be cautious about making sure certain things aren't getting filtered out. So I try and leave those in pretty wide net at the same time. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't make sure that your resume is going to pass that phase. Then you have to make sure that it's good enough for the recruiter. If it's good enough for the recruiter, then you have to make sure it's cool with the hiring manager. What's the difference between these 2 people? I'll just open it up.
For the company and the hiring manager.
Okay. So she will be taking questions after this, all the questions. But yeah, that's absolutely it. The hiring manager is going to have to deal with you forever. Not forever, however long you're there, right? But they're going to be the person that is the biggest stakeholder in bringing you on the team. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that this person is most impressed with you. You kind of just want to pass the test with these 2. That makes sense? I like when people actually nod. It's like so boring when I stand up here and talk and then like you say like something that's provocative and making sure that they are paying attention and then yeah, it's good to have some interaction. Thank you, everybody.
Let's see. Did I have another one? Interview best practices. Oh yeah, we'll just go to this PDF. Oh, that's actually on my laptop.
I might have it pulled up actually.
Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah.
And then this one, we didn't need to go. Yeah, I actually did see it. Oh, you're so great.
Give her a round of applause, by the way. This is great. All right, I'll make sure you give your leadership team, your events squad, make sure they get a big round of applause for this. Which can get really long. So I thank you guys for the first time. That's not how this here. But just a few tips and tricks for an interview. If you ask me for this, I'll send this to you. So it's not like 300 pixels that you have to somehow make sure you can read. So I'll send you this actual PDF directly if you want to grab it after this. But just some tips and tricks for interviewing. Make sure that you actually get on to the interview video chat beforehand. I made the mistake while I was interviewing for PayPal, not testing out Teams, which I have grown to love. Did not love it right off the bat, but I've grown to love Teams. But I showed up 3 minutes to that interview and I was just pleading for them to still, consider me. It worked out, but don't go yet. I don't recommend it. Definitely check, make sure everything works. Like I said, read the job description, understand the rest of the process going into it. Know what questions you don't have answers to that you might have about the job description. Have questions about the squad that you're going to be on, like the team you're going to be on. Maybe have questions about the product. That shows that you care. It shows that you're not just going to take any job that comes your way. You might, but you want to know those things, right? So yeah, those are just a few tips and tricks. You can get more into this when I send the PDF out if you want. Yeah, that's what I got. Okay.
Yeah. That was pretty much the end.
Okay, that's us.
Can click to it.
Can we not click to it? We're just gonna get it. There's nothing else. It's just the logo. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's all.
Cool. Great. Thanks for having us, guys. Anything? Anything right there?
I'm good on time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we can open up for if there's any Q&A, just 5 minutes. We got
time's
10
up.
minutes, so
Yeah, we'll do 5-minute Q&A.
okay, we'll do a quick Q&A, if for any questions you guys may have. After that, we'll do a quick resume review and you guys can then get the food, in the meantime, and yeah, we'll conclude after. So, does anyone have any questions? Good.
So when you were going through your internship, what skills did you bring to the team or to PayPal that made you successful? And what were some things that you haven't worked on?
definitely. Yeah, great question. So I'd say coming into PayPal, one skill that specifically, or I'd say 2 skills that specifically stood out. One was that I was active on GitHub, and so a recruiter going through my profile was able to see the projects that I was doing. So that was one thing. And then the other thing was that I had the opportunity to teach 5 to 7-year-olds at my local dance studio that I competed with. And so that particularly showed an interest in terms of mentorship, where I was able to mentor others. And that's something that I found that I actively worked on while at PayPal, is going from a mentee position where you're learning, taking, I would say, insight and learning about like the coding process and code review, to then being on the other side where you're giving code reviews more, you're helping another teammate onboard to a tool that you learn, and going from that mentee mentorship position.
Can I say something to that really fast? And also for reference, I do have a AI tool that literally searches repositories and forks on GitHub, and I can actually grade people based on how well they would match my job description. So having your GitHub up to date and actually using it, if you're going to apply it and make sure that's actually a thing that you want to be referenced during your interview process, I mean, I'll find you. Maybe not other recruiters, but I would. So yeah, this just incite me.
For sure.
All right, I have one question for you.
Sure.
In the job descriptions and like when doing applications, sometimes there is like a huge prompt for like notes for hiring manager. Or like, what do you want to see to hiring manager? What should we put in that box, so to speak, to like stand out, or what do recruiters or hiring managers expect?
Sure.
And then you can.
Yeah. Yeah, so you mean like in a prompt, like as you're applying for the job, it
Yeah.
says anything you want the hiring manager to know?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't leave that blank. That's all I have to say. Like, that will not be read until your second interview, by the way. I don't have time to read 500 different like prompts. If you can keep it to 3 sentences that are just rock solid, totally recommend that. If you want to write a bunch, give them the option at the top and say, here's the short version, here's the long version. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It makes me just want to read the long version. You know, I'm like, I got 10 meetings to go to right now, but this person cares. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would give a short version and a long version. I've seen that only a couple times, but I remember them. So yeah.
For sure. And yeah, just to add to that, I've also been on both the side of interviewing as well as being an interview. So mainly for that, I don't even know if that makes sense, but mainly you get the idea. So for that, I would definitely recommend asking what products that team currently works on, because some of the time it may be internal to PayPal or external. But that especially can give you an idea of team's work. And then also I'd say like work-life balance around like, does that team have life support rotation? What does that look like? So just kind of a few questions like that will help give you an idea of the team, who you're going to be working with, and also any potential teams, or like say, if they're on the front end, do you work heavily with a product manager, kind of things like that, just to get a better idea, can help, and definitely show that you care in terms of who you're going to be working with too.
Sounds good. If anyone doesn't have any questions, we'll conclude the event here and we'll do resume reviews. Go ahead.
So we talked a lot about how in an interview you'll be working on. How does that apply to internships? By which I mean, when you apply for an internship, it feels like you're applying to a more general application. At what point are you talking to the team you might be working?
Good question. I would say, okay. Yeah, so I can say for that, specifically last year, I was part of the interviewing committee for internships. And so that one, even though is more general, it still gives us an idea in terms of your tech stack, because in that way we can fit you. I don't know if Porter, you'd have anything to add in terms of what happens after that, like I would say technical interview, but that's what I have to say for when you're doing the coding part, at least.
I mean, you're asking about internships, right?
Yeah, or
Yeah, new grad positions. I'll have some more information about that for sure. Like that third interview, you will be talking to people on the team. So when I say it's a panel interview, that means there's multiple people that are going to be there with you, asking you questions, confirming that you're going to be a good fit for the team. Yeah, you'll be meeting people from the team typically in that phase.
Yeah, and then I can speak more about that too, in terms of what we've typically done is you'll have your behavioral interview. So that's talking with the hiring manager. You'll also have maybe 1 to 2 technical coding interviews. So one being coding in the language that you're comfortable with, and ensure that that's a good match with the team's current tech stack as well. But you'll also have one around the system design per se. So if you were to do like a scenario where you're going to build an online chess game, what components would you need to construct that? So say like security, localization, understanding the user's profile or account. You're going to need a database for that. So it's just kind of things like that that'll help give a sense of both architecture, but then also coding.
Any more questions? All right, big round of applause for